Hello, my name is Tabitha Bailey, and I'm currently enrolled at Liberty University with a major in psychology. My goal is to become a Christian family counselor and help families with their everyday struggles in life and to help marriages become successful marriages. God values family and God values marriage. In Hebrews, it tells us that marriage is honorable in all and the bed undefiled. Also in the Bible, it says, "Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing." Now, to all the married couples out there, how many of you can honestly say that you find your spouse a good thing or a blessing in life? Unfortunately, if we were to poll a lot of couples, the answer would probably not be a good one. Most people struggle in their marriage life, but we do not have to live with this. God has given us opportunities and ways to change that. There are many keys to successful marriage, and today we're going to discuss 3 of those keys, which are commitment, communication, and time. Commitment. Dr. Scott Stanley at the Center of Marital and Family Studies at the University of Denver defines commitment as making a choice to give up other choices. Nice, easy definition, but a lot of people struggle with that. It's easy to give up choices that we don't care about, but when it comes to something that we care about, it's hard to give those up and commit to what our spouse's needs are. The second point of commitment that is brought up in the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, which was re-advised and came back out in 2004, he discusses how many couples get married in the height of their, what they call a honeymoon period in dating. They're all in love and they're all excited, and then they get married and the excitement wears off, and where does that leave them? Well, they're not happy anymore, so they decide, well, we'll get divorced because we're no longer happy. That's not commitment. That's not what marriage is supposed to be. Marriage is a commitment, and commitments need to be made daily. This brings us to our third point. It is a choice to be committed. It is not something that we fall in and out of. It is a choice we wake up daily and we decide we're going to be committed to this person or not. The next key to a successful marriage is communication. According to a survey of professional counselors by YourTango.com in October of 2012, the main reason people got divorced was because of lack of communication. Now, it is important to remember your spouse is not a mind reader. They do not know what you need unless you tell them. Now, we are all guilty at points in time of getting mad at our spouse for not doing what we want them to do, even though we never told them what we want them to do, which is not fair to our spouse, and it's not fair to us to be angry about such things. Second point in communication is do not become the nagging wife. There are many ways to not become the nagging wife. The best way to start out with is to talk to your husband, agree on a decompression time when they get home from work, so he has his time to decompress, and then you come in and you can talk about what needs to be talked about. But do not come harping on him with a to-do list and about everything that happened to you today as soon as they walk in the door, because all it's going to do is frustrate him and you're going to get labeled as the nagging wife. The third point in communication is keep it short and sweet. A lot of times we go off on tangents instead of just saying what needs to be said and going on. Say what needs to be said and then go on. Don't waste the time on a lot of tangents that you know your spouse isn't really going to care about anyways. The third key to a successful marriage is time. According to Dr. Harley, he's the author of His Needs, Her Needs, which came out in 1986. The minimum amount of time a couple needs to spend together is 15 hours a week. That is what he calls undivided attention time. That is hard for a lot of couples to do. It is not impossible though, because we find time to watch football games and our TV programs and our soap operas, but for some reason we can't find 15 hours in a week to spend with our spouse. Get rid of the TV if you have to, but spending those 15 hours is going to make your marriage a lot more successful. The second point in time is making sure you have date nights. Of course, we would love to be able to do this once a week, but even if you can get a date night once a month, that's a lot better than not getting any time. It refreshes the spirit and it helps couples come together. The third point in the time is making sure you spend time with God as a couple. Because without God, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it's not going to be as solid as it would be if you had God in the relationship. And finding a spiritual relationship with your partner is one of the deepest and most intimate relationships you will ever have. In conclusion, there are 3 keys to success in marriage: communication, time, and commitment. How is your marriage going to be? You get to choose.